It's 9 minutes before we say goodbye here on Morning Live. Let's just wrap up our broadcast for the commemoration of Madiba's passing, as the Nelson Mandela Museum has the role of preserving Madiba's legacy for generations to come. His political life, his time in prison, and the activities involving his long walk to freedom are housed at the Nelson Mandela Museum's Bunga building in Mthatha. This month, the anniversary of Madiba's death has attracted a large number of tourists as they come to view the legacy of Tata Madiba. Let us once again say good morning to our reporter Zimkhita Manqinana. He is live from Mthatha in the Eastern Cape. Let's just talk about the works of the exhibition that we see behind you at the museum.
Welcome back to the Nelson Mandela Museum here in the CBD of Mthatha. As you can see, Palesa, in the exhibition behind me, it was that Nelson Mandela was addressing a jubilant crowd in his inauguration. And some of the things, according to what is written here, some of the things that he said is that a new society would be born from the ashes of the past, and South African people should then continue all the time preserving all those things that he stood for during his time when he was the president of the country. So here we also have the constitution of the country. When tourists come here, they get educated about the values that are being documented in the constitution. So the various things that are being housed here, and also young people are educated about some of the things that they need to continue doing while living their lives to ensure that they keep up to the values of Dr. Nelson Mandela. But also, Palesa, today, while we are celebrating the 4th commemoration of his passing on, we are also talking about small businesses that are going to benefit here. We are seeing people who are selling traditional attires, beads, and all other art-related items here, encouraging them to wear traditional garments, to be proud of who they are. So a lot of people are going to benefit throughout the weeks where tourists are going to come in and out of this province.
Expecting a large number of tourists to visit the museum as well, Zimkhita.
The numbers of the tourists that are visiting the museum continue to increase during December and July when his birthday is being celebrated. It's not only the CBD of Mthatha that benefits, also the community of Mveso, because you must remember, Palesa, he was born at Mveso. He then lived at Qunu, where there's also a Nelson Mandela Youth and Heritage Center there, and also there's this museum in the CBD. So tourists make the community of this area benefit through B&Bs because they sleep here. Tour guides benefit because they educate them about the history and the areas where Mandela's footsteps embarked on his journey while he was fighting for the freedom of this country. So a lot of people, not just this museum, are benefiting one way or the other through the sales of items in the streets, because they are so proud to own things that they buy from Mthatha, because they when they go back to their countries, they can then say, I've got this from the hometown of Dr. Nelson Mandela. But besides that benefit, the family as well is doing something to honor Dr. Nelson Mandela. Earlier I spoke to his grandson Mthatha Mandela, who is at Qunu, who is saying that as the family, they are going to meet, they are going to clean his graves today, because as the family, it's important that they hold that sacred moment in remembering Dr. Nelson Mandela. So while the celebrations are continuing here at his Qunu home, the family is meeting there to ensure that they pray and they also remember the former statesman who everyone loved so much. And when we come back, on other shows throughout the SABC, we'll be talking to him. And we're expecting to talk to Ndaba Mandela, who was here attending a dialogue last night, the dialogue which was talking about the values of Dr. Nelson Mandela. So we are expecting to have the side of the family as well, because it's not only the public that is celebrating his life, but it's also the family members. It's back to you in Johannesburg.
Zimkhita, reporter Zimkhita Manqinana live from Mthatha in the Eastern Cape. Do stay tuned to Channel 404 for the latest happening in relation to the commemoration of the death of Tata Nelson Mandela.